War paint ain't for the faint of the heart. I paint it dark with no light. I'm providing the spark. Same with the sharks. I was building on my Noah's Ark. And I'ma keep on building until I'm chilling with the oligarchs. Panoramic views, gemstone hues, Bugatti dreams. See the ride it fits too. Everybody trying to go, what you wanna do? Try and pick and choose.
What you gonna do when the Hulkster comes running wild on you?
Fuck the Hulk Hogan. I beat his ass Madison Square Garden. Make him humble.
Y'all see what the fuck going on? I got the Iron Sheik in the motherfucking building. And y'all just heard that intro song, man. Shout out to Shahleezy for that, man. But we back in the building. Welcome back to the Dawn Core and Dricanhippie show. Shout out to Dawn Core. He couldn't make it today, but shout out to Dawn Core always, you know what I'm saying? And I am your host, of course, the highest hippie in the room, Dricanhippie, of course, and we back at it. This should be episode 220, if I'm not mistaken. Don't mess the vibes up, you know what I'm saying? But we got our boy Shahleezy in the building. Shahleezy, what's good, my guy?
My guy, what's going on, man? Thank you for having me, man.
Oh, man, thank you for having me at your spot, you know what I'm saying? At your ambiance, you know what I'm saying? Give the show a little different aesthetics, you know what I mean? And just to make sure that you comfortable, I was like, you know, let's pop out, you know what I mean? Let's make this happen, man. We've been talking for a while. We've known each other for like at least a year now.
Yeah, we definitely have crossed paths a bunch of times. I've been reaching out to y'all to definitely do the show and things, and I'm glad everything kind of fell in place. We did that show together and stuff, and
freshman class 2022. Even though my boy not a freshman at all,
I feel like a super senior. I said at the show, I feel like I was a super senior in there.
Statesman in this bitch, you know what I mean? But besides all that, how you feeling? How's everything been going with you? How you feeling?
Good, man. You know, just grinding, same old two-step. You know what I'm saying? We just dropped the Shiraz album that came out. That's doing well for us. I got a new joint coming out in March, Lucid Dreams, March 9th. I'm really proud of that work, and we just hitting the ball rolling on the first quarter.
Yes. I love it. So, just to touch a little bit, we'll get into the single that you got coming up this year, March 9th, you said?
Yes, March 9th.
Alright, cool. Lucid Dreams.
Yes.
Let's not mistaken that with the other one, you know what I'm saying? Because this going to be a banger. Mm-hmm. But, let's talk about the last project that you put out, man. How did you feel about the reception? How did you feel about it?
Oh, man, I feel like it was a great reception. And I wanted to really challenge myself as an artist because for the most part now, I've been putting out a lot of EPs. And that's how I started building momentum in the game and stuff. I came in around like a couple years back and I said to myself, you know what? I want to start coming out with EPs. I wanted to make these projects that were really dope but had replayability and was a way for me to dip in and dip out.
Yeah.
And then fast forward, we started getting a lot of success on it, and I said, you know what, I want to challenge myself because, you know, usually I make these 15-minute projects and stuff, and there's a lot of effort that gets put into it. But, you know, as an MC, as an artist, you want to really push yourself beyond those limits. You want to be able to show people your progression, not just with the music, but the length. So I was like, you know, what if we made like a whole album?
Yeah.
Now, what constitutes a whole album? Some people say 7 songs, 8 songs, but like as an independent artist, a lot of people don't know. It's 30 minutes according to the RIAA.
Mm-hmm.
It's 30 minutes or more to be considered an album. Now, guys like Kanye and things, they get away with it because they're Kanye, but you know, for the rest of the people, like
they know those loops that you could go into and make the beat a little longer, give you an intro,
right? Or their deals, and just the way some of their deals are set up, they can negotiate in a certain way where they could say, okay, you know what, we're gonna do 7 songs, and we don't care what y'all say. Like this is gonna be an album, and I can call Apple and make that happen. I can change the titles around. So for me, I just wanted to be consistent on all platforms because Spotify will recognize your thing as an album, but then like Apple Music has its own rules to what considers to be an album. So I said, all right, universally, what's the rules? So they said 30 minutes or more. So, you know, I put my pen to the test and I made myself an album. I said I was going to do 30 minutes. I did 33 minutes and I'm proud of that. And we shot a really nice visual to it. We came out with Shiraz, featuring my man SL Feemster.
That's one of my joints off that project right there. I love the visual, you know what I mean? I love the animation that you have with your visuals. You know what I'm saying? It brings me back to something like when Ludacris was running the the videos, you know.
Oh yeah, very animated.
Yeah,
with
just
the
give me a
arms.
different visual. I don't want to see you in 3 frames standing there.
Right. and that was one of the things that I wanted to do with that video, because I didn't want it to just be like something regular or something that looks cheesy. I wanted to do something that was a little more tasteful. So we really thought about background. We thought about, you know, what are the outfits, you know what I'm saying? Like I wanted to take it back to like the 70s or something like that and create a vibe. All the way down to post edits. We wanted the filter to have a certain kind of hue to it, to kind of make it look like some film that you've seen in the 80s or something.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
that like Foxy Brown type glow, you know what I mean? Those colors are so vibrant, you know what I mean? So let's leave that right there, right? Because I see where your mind and how your mind works. So let's just go back to like when you was younger, you know what I mean? What were your ambitions as a kid?
As a kid, I just wanted to be a great rapper. Like as a kid, I was 13 years old and I was just riding around Staten Island, just trying to get involved with anything in the music scene. And I jumped into ciphers, freestyles, and everything in between and stuff. Because Staten Island is small. You know what I mean? Like, you can get on your bicycle, you can go around anybody's neighborhood if you really wanted to.
In the whole day, you touch the whole Staten Island.
Yeah, you can.
If you wanted
you really
to,
could. Especially in your car. You could really do laps around it.
Yeah, because shout out to Don Core. He used to stay out there for a little while. And I used to go out there and it was like, it's man small.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you run into people that you know and shit like that, but go ahead, finish.
But yeah, and like that's really was where my building blocks began, and I would just sit there and just watch the other kids rhyme, and you know there was a lot of them that were way further ahead of me at that time, but I just like to be around that so I could just learn and then imitate or take little things from them and stuff like, oh, I like how he did that, or he did multi-syllables in this, and like I would want to go and practice that. So like by the time, you know, I'm 19 now I'm in the city. Yeah. Now I'm in college, Hunter College, what up? Okay. You know what I'm saying? And
shout out to the alma mater.
Yeah, absolutely.
Boricua College for me, you know what I'm saying? That was my joy.
Word, son. Definitely. So, you know, I was out there and I just started interning at spots, and I wanted to get like more of like a professional setting and stuff. And that's like what I feel like, that's when my creativity started like blossoming even more. Like as you were a kid, you were creative as hell, but then like you're trying to figure it all out. You know what I mean? Like I hate to take it back to 13 again real quick, but I do want to
a major number. Right?
I do want to hit on a certain number. Like I was really trying to put albums out like my favorite rappers was putting albums out. Like I had a boy that lived up the block, and he had a bodega, he had like a little deli and stuff that his father ran, and he worked there and stuff. But they had a little machine. Remember like when you used to go and get CDs and albums and it had a little plastic thing on it? Yeah. So my mission was I bought like a whole bunch of jewel cases, and I would burn my CDs and stuff like that. And then I'd go to my boy's crib and I would get these, they had like this hot gun thing, and they would just wrap it around this plastic. So then when I would show it to school, when I'd go to school, I'd show up like, yo, my album just dropped. And motherfuckers would look at it like, oh, yo, he got the plastic on the shit. Like to that level of detail. That's how passionate.
You put a price on it?
Yeah, I'll put $5, all of that stuff.
$4.99. Yeah, come see me.
Yeah, straight up, because that was my whole thing. Like I just wanted to be like my favorite rappers. I wanted to be whatever they was doing. I was just trying to be as official as them. Not as official, bro. Nowhere near as official. But in my mind and the way it looked, I was like, oh my god. Like,
and then we kind of like our age range, we kind of take for granted what we dived into. Yeah. It was just hitting technology ever. It was just hitting shit where you could get your stuff out. Whatever you're doing, you could get it out. You know what I'm saying? So, like you saying, damn, I see what, let's say, you in Staten Island, I see what a Wu-Tang is doing. Yeah. You know what I mean? I see what a Jay-Z is doing. Why I can't do that? Right. Why I can't do it? And it's amazing to me that humans, period, at a certain age move how they move. Like these kids these days are so independent at any age that you're like, oh, you making money on YouTube? Like that, and you 14, 15? That was us back in the day doing what we had to do. Like, this is my dream. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So you went from that. Let me ask you something, because you got a lot of aliases.
Yeah.
You got a lot of different names. Give him a couple.
It's Habibi King, the Iron Sheik, the King of the Middle East. Those are three that come off to my head. but I do.
Did you get that coming up from Staten Island? And was you like a Wu-Tang fan?
Hell yeah, it was a Wu-Tang fan. I was proud because they was the only ones out the island that really blew, and when they blew, they was like they became the rap Beatles.
Yeah,
you know
and not to say it in a, it's not a stigma, it's not a bad way. They stood where they came from.
Yeah,
they showed their faces where they came from. Like, I'm here. It's tangible. You can make it happen.
Absolutely.
That's what that message says. And then watching the Wu-Tang series is like,
oh yeah, I mean, because we already heard the stories like about them, especially growing up, going to high school. Like you would hear these little stories about Method Man and stuff like that, and be like, oh, we saw Method Man at the mall yesterday. And
Method Man,
it was so local to us.
I can't tell the story because I wasn't there, but he's told me the story multiple times. Method Man tried to pass Don Core a blunt when he was like 7, 8 years old because his older cousin. Shout out to his older cousin. He's doing some time right now. He used to hang out with Wu-Tang.
Wow.
He used to be in the studio with them and stuff like that.
Right.
And Cole was with him one time.
Yeah.
And Meth was about to pass him the blunt. He was like, yo, chill. So do you get your style, that alias, different names and stuff from them somewhat? Was that an inspiration?
It's definitely somewhat, because I mean, there's all connections to it. For me, it was like, it became very popular around that time period in that era to go by different aliases, whether it was like 50, aka Ferrari F50,
the whole D12,
Ferrari D12, Eminem. Then it was a Slim Shady. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like I seen Jay went from Jay-Z to Hove, and Jigga Man, like
Puff Daddy to Diddy to
So for me, all those things. Like King of the Middle East, those were actually most recent. These are like most recent stuff because these were things that I realized, as an artist and things, you want to stand out, and I want to stand out in every way, shape possible.
You want your
verbally, physically, the way I dress. You see Habibi on my shirt, I'm living it. Like I really want you to see me and stuff. And when you hear the records, I want you to see and feel personality.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's what
some of my favorite rappers, I'm sorry to cut you off. Some of my favorite rappers have personality. Like all of them have personality.
Yeah.
I mean,
well, I was gonna get into that a little later into the conversation. Give me some of your who were some of your inspiration artists? Who are, let's say, your top 5, your personal top 5?
I mean, my personal top 5 is like, it's so generic at this point, but like I'll say like no particular orders, but it'd be like Big, Pop, Jay, Nas, Rakim. Like those guys for me was like top tier in what they did.
For me it was like Hove, Big, of course, you know what I mean, Snoop, Ice Cube, and KRS-One. That's my personal top 5, you know what I mean? I listen to KRS-One because he's a teacher.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I just love his music. Snoop Dogg is so... He just touches every single category of hip-hop and does it so well. Yeah. And Ice Cube has one of the best pens that I've ever heard.
Oh, you know what I mean? He's incredible. He's got a gifted pen.
Yeah, and Jay-Z and Biggie, that's God tier. You know?
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah. So yeah, give me some of the rest of the story of you coming up. So now you... What, 19, let's say?
So now I'm 19.
Interning, like
I'm knocking on doors.
What were some of the internships you did?
I did working at the front desk, answering phone calls.
Hot 9, Power 105?
No, never those. I was just doing studios, like recording studios. Mm-hmm. I did Space Lab.
I did Hot 9 for a summer. I was hanging up Joel Santana posters.
Yo, I feel like everybody, you know what I'm saying? It's like there's roots to all of this. Like everybody comes in a
6 degrees of separation.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Like, I met people that were on street teams. Like, I was on the street team for such and such album and stuff. Like, and these are difficult. People don't realize how hard it is to break into the street teams. Like, when you get, that's why I appreciate every level of this game, man.
That's a hustle. You got to be for them 24/7.
Yeah.
I need you right now, and you got to go.
And there's no promise. How many people did street team and just withered away?
Yeah.
Yo, it is hard.
Yeah.
So I always commended everybody from the roots of where they came from and stuff.
Yeah.
But for
So now
myself,
you're interning and everything at 19. So what happens with the music? You getting more, you're blossoming, as you said.
I'm blossoming. I'm still at certain moments I'm paying for studio sessions, but I started to grow an impression on to one of my mentors, and my man Phil Mogul from the BX. Shout out to Phil. I always show him love. That's Eden Wall's finest right there.
Phil.
And you know, he's the one that took a real liking to me because he was seeing me work. He used to always see me come. I used to go to school, and then from school I didn't even go back to the crib to change. I go straight to the studio,
yeah.
and I just wanted to be there.
That
I
shit
just
is
wanted
life.
to be there just to soak in game type thing. And Phil took a liking to it, and he saw how hard I was working, and he had me in Studio B, and I'd just be honing my craft and rapping and all that. And he was like, "Yo, I'm gonna put you in a position where you don't have to pay for studio time no more." Like,
Fire.
but I didn't know what that meant. What it meant was he's like, "I'm gonna teach you how to record, and then you're gonna be working here around the clock."
I'm gonna teach you how to fish.
Yeah. I'm gonna teach, yeah, and I didn't get it at the time, but I went with it because I was like, I love being here. I want to be here. This is
I'm gonna learn how to wax on, wax off.
Exactly. And I did everything. I
Yo,
answered
shout out to
calls.
Fuego. That's what he did for me.
Yeah.
Even though he younger than me and all that other shit, I used to stand over his shoulder when he used to edit our videos and shit.
Yeah.
Just to see what he doing, his little mannerisms and shit.
Yeah.
Can I take something from it?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Quarantine hit, I used some of the shit that I learned from him.
There you go.
But go ahead.
But
Shout
that-
out to Phil, man.
Yeah. And that was the beginning of, like, I'd say hip hop boot camp for me, because after that I was fully ingratiated into the game. Like, I was seeing the background, the politics, the conversations, everything.
Yeah.
Like, I learned it all inside out. And then I learned about audio equipment. I learned how to track vocals, like really track out vocals.
Yeah.
And then that's when my knowledge of the audio game. So it's just kind of like my whole artistry kind of came in like on a full circle. So first it started with honing craft and recording yourself. And people don't realize in that time period how important that is. Because now, look, everybody recording themselves now.
Yeah.
Now it's kind of like a thing. But back then, people looked at me like crazy, like, "Oh, what? You engineer or you a rapper?" Like, people didn't know at the time.
Yeah,
So
I gotta do it all, man.
this became a challenge. This became the challenge, and I had to prove myself that, okay, now I'm not just this engineer. Like, yo, like I'm learning this, so the records is gonna sound crispy, like
Exactly.
fresh out the oven and shit.
Yes, sir.
And then once I honed my craft with the audio and stuff, then the visuals came. Alright, how much shoot a video? I never shot a video before. How we gonna do this and stuff? You know what I mean? And you should
And
just,
everything is from trial and error, and you gotta
Yeah.
do it by yourself,
and
right?
you
now.
have to. And
You
it's-
don't know no
It is
videographers.
such a pride swallowing thing. When you really think about it, it's such a pride swallowing thing. But when you go through it, like, I loved every second of it. I loved the thrill. I love being in the darkness and not knowing how it's going to pan out or work out. And I think that's what really separates me from a lot of people. A lot of people be scared to go into that darkness. But I went through it. I threw out videos. And I didn't have money at the time. So that was the other thing. That became another challenge. That became one of my first early industry lessons. I always say I have a lot of early industry lessons, but one of my first early indie artist industry lessons was, if you really want to do this, you gotta bankroll your shit. Nobody's gonna come from the sky and the heavens and be like, "Yo, you're special."
Nobody gonna save your ass.
Yeah, you gotta start investing on these videos and things. So then once I started doing that, I realized, okay, there's money being moved around here. Like, there's money being put towards marketing. There's money being put into this music production at every angle. This is a money making business. So that's when I started respecting it as a business. And I just slowly started building up a consistency. And once I built it up to consistency, fast forward, here I am. Like, I'm one of them. I would like to say, to my home, I'm one of the more up and coming MCs out of New York City.
Yeah.
And I'm proud to say that.
Yeah, one of the top tier independent up and coming MCs. You know what I mean? So did you ever fall into a label deal or anything like that? Did you ever see that side of the business of this industry?
No, I never had the chance to. Well, I will say this: I didn't get any record deal offers or anything like that, but I was able to be around a lot of A&Rs, and I got a sense. And one of my first early A&Rs that we used to sit in on my sessions, I'll never forget Dave Lighty, God bless the dead, Chris Lighty, the whole Lighty family, amazing family.
Shout out to them.
And I remember Dave used to be around, and you want me to smoke this or just you can go over?
We can spark that other one when we ready. You know what I mean?
My fault. So yeah, that's.
It's a great conversation right now. Like, comment, subscribe. You know what I'm saying?
Listen, there's a lot of rules. The sly smoker rule, so you gotta make sure everything is straight. But nah, so Dave Lighty used to always sit in on my sessions and stuff, and he used to always encourage me, and I used to always learn about the stories, about the labels, about some of your favorite rappers and stuff. So it was just a pleasure to be there and share the space and learn those kind of things. I never had. But to directly, as far as record deals go and stuff, I never got offered a direct record deal. Got a management deal, but never like one of those kind of deals, no.
Okay, cool. So let's just jump into what we started the conversation with. Let's jump into more recent right now. You're going to drop this song March 9th. That's about 2 weeks or so?
Yeah.
About 2 weeks or so, something like that. Is this just a single for a new project that's coming up?
No, it's just singles.
It's just a Lucy right now.
Oh yeah. Right now, everything that we doing right now is we just tossing records out, man. We tossing records, we tossing albums out. We want to do everything.
All right. And you got a visual for this one as well?
Already? Oh, absolutely. We got that ready.
Yeah.
And listen, man, at Shaw Entertainment, we just would like to be a creative company that just wants to give you art and feel, and we want to do it consistently, and we want to just keep hitting you on your head top every single time, and this is why you see me, I'm sitting here, I got a cast on right now, right? This is a broken hand, but a lot of people will sit here and say, I'm gonna go offline for a bit, I'm gonna see y'all in a couple weeks and shit. I'm not in the mood to wait in a couple weeks, because what I can get done now, I can go do the other things in a couple weeks.
You know? Where does that work ethic come from? Where does that consistency come from in your life? Who in your personal life out of your let's say your family or something like that? Who did you see that was consistent?
Well, I mean,
that gave you that work ethic.
Well, I probably say my father really instilled a lot of motivation in me. He was always a motivated guy, and he used to always want to motivate me. But I think that's also a brown parent thing. Like, brown parents just want to motivate the shit out of you and stuff.
They need that next generation of their kids to be the best that they can be. We need this.
Yeah, at the highest of highest levels, right? And I feel like those were like the seeds, because even though they might have had like some other type of ideas when they say the highest of highest, I don't think anybody raises their kid and be like, yo, he's gonna be a rapper or some shit like that.
Yeah.
But I took that and I used that as my motivation. All those little seeds that my father was telling me, that's work ethic. But I applied it towards my passion and what I love to do. And like I always believe, if you're passionate about something, whether you're getting paid for it or you're not getting paid for it, you will be wealthy eventually off of it, because you love this.
You're gonna feel good about what you do at the end of the day.
Yeah. And finally, like, I'm sorry, talk about passion. And finally, I feel like the thing that also drives me is like, I like to rap with a chip on my shoulder. I like to always try to remind myself that, yo, like, they didn't like you before. Remember that they didn't like you before. Remember that how hard it took for people to like you.
Yeah.
And you want to keep that, and you want to keep going harder and harder. You know what I mean? So I always try to remind myself that, and because as you do get spoiled as you keep climbing up, because you get this level of respect. But I also try to keep going with that hunger, that little reminder, like, yo, never forget. They
wasn't fucking with you. Yeah. And that was a separate question that I was gonna ask. What makes your lyrical ability where it's at? But I'm gonna frame it in another way after this, right? Because that's almost the same thing for me. Like, my moms didn't think that I would be sitting on the couch talking to people on microphones. You know?
Yeah.
Call it a podcast, whatever this is. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But when I was younger, she used to take me to school and go to her 9 to 5. And then she'll be home in time to pick me up from school, right? Me and my brothers, right? And then go to her overnight job. You know what I mean? And I just see the consistency, the work ethic. And then, like I told you off camera, like, for the college thing, she said, yo, if you start it, you end it. You know what I mean?
That
You gotta
and that
finish
was
it.
such a great lesson. I
Yeah.
feel like she taught you because what she was really telling you was, I feel at least, was that you may not like this, but in life we're gonna have to do things that we don't like to do the things that we love to do.
Yeah.
And I think that was a very powerful lesson, and I'm glad she made you go through it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? 'Cause
Yeah, man. Shout out to moms, man. For real. You know what I mean? Shout out to moms, man.
Peace to mom, folks.
Yeah, man. But I love that answer because it's inspiration. You know what I mean? We always got to do better. And to that point, it was like as brown skinned people. You know what I mean?
Right.
And then I was having this like little side joint right here, side conversation with wifey, right? I'm like, yeah, man, because I'm a brown skinned man, right? And she like, bro, because my girl is black, you know what I mean? So, but she's a little darker than me, and it's like, she like, bro, you need to stop it, boy. Like, you not brown skin. I'm like, yo, I'm not saying I'm black, I'm saying I'm brown skin. Like, cops stop and frisk me. You know what I'm saying? I'm Puerto Rican, man. I'm not a part of that clan over there. You know what I'm saying? So, it's what you think about that? I don't want to get into it too deep, but what you think about these times that we living in right now? Besides COVID, you know what I mean? I just mean like people these days. Like it's just it's so separated still. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, I mean I feel like the whole society in general has kind of hit a level of regression.
Yeah.
You know, where it's like everything is kind of like slowed down because we're in this gray area where we're trying to like iron out certain issues that we haven't ironed out. And the reason why we haven't ironed it out is because it's kind of been in the back of everyone's minds for a very, very long time. And now it came to the forefront. Yeah. And now it demands an answer. And now everybody's just trying to figure out, well, what's the answer? Yeah. And I think that's time. Time is the answer. Time will eventually answer all of these problems.
Yeah, time heals all wounds. Time has a way of showing you things, you know what I mean? You just open your eyes. You open your third eye, you know what I mean? And you could eventually see what's going on in front of you. It's going on in front of us. So, how do you see, because we was talking about this off camera. Shout out to Griselda, Rock Marcy, all these lyrical artists that's out right now, you know what I mean? But you still have the Little Uzis and other artists of that nature, Migos and stuff, that have the premium shine. Right. You know what I mean? But these artists as Benny the Butcher and stuff like that, they super nice. So where do you see your music and your talent fitting into this? Or is it that you're a racehorse and you're not looking, you just running your race?
Well, I mean, you always, as you know, somebody in the field, you always like to see what other people are doing, but you don't like to stare too much because you don't want to fall off on your own grind. But I really feel like the kind of market that Griselda helped elevate is kind of allowed people like myself space to get a wider audience now. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because now it's kind of opened its doors to people who like lyrics. Niche rap to me is something that I feel like I'm predicting that is going to be the next wave of the next couple of years. Like, I think there's going to be a little something for everybody.
You think that's something you fit under?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I heard you say I hear you say the word a lot. What does art mean to you?
Art to me is who you are.
Yeah.
Like, art to me is an expression of who you are. Yeah. And not being afraid to say who you are. I feel like a lot of people have a hard time being themselves. And I remember I seen the Fade to Black documentary. Society's woes. Yeah, I remember I seen the Fade to Black documentary, and there was a kid in the studio and stuff, and I forgot who it was. It was like, yo, just be you. And the kid was like, I know, man, but it'd be hard and shit. And then the camera panned over the Hope, and he's like, you see, media, you see what you did? See what you did to these kids? They scared of being themselves. Yeah. And that shit hit so hard to me. I was like, yo.
And what's that? That's early 2000s, right? Fade to Black tour? That's like 03, 04, some shit like that? 04. Some shit like that. And now, imagine now with all these social media platforms and everything, people could woefully like and comment on your shit and just tell you that you a piece of shit, or tell you whatever, anything negative or anything positive. But it just comes at a bundle. Right. It comes so much.
It comes like, full force.
Yo, what is going on? Like, can I? limit this, but you can limit it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you do. It's kind of like, especially as a creative, I always try to tell people, like, I like to post when it's necessary and I just do my thing, but I don't like to be hooked on social media because if I was doing that, then I wouldn't be putting out music. Yeah. Like I just like, I utilize it as a tool, but what I love to do is create. I love to paint. I love to not literally paint. I don't love to paint, but like, I mean, paint with words. With lyrics, or I could be working on a design, or I could be, conceptualizing a music video. I'm working nonstop around that. These are the things that make me move, not like a moment for Instagram or, this would be great if we just do this. Like, I don't think like that.
It's always the next game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I can't watch my highlights. I got a game tomorrow.
Yeah.
Why would I watch those highlights? I probably could progress on that.
And especially as an artist, like when you listening to yourself over and over and over and over, like I done heard it so many times. Hey, you enjoy this. Like, I'm
tell me
with
what you think. I know what I think.
Yeah, like I'm done playing with this. Like a little kid, like a kid with the toy. You done playing? Like, what's the new toy? I'm all right. But this time I'm building the toy. You know what I mean?
Especially at Christmas time. Yeah. What's the next one? What's the next one? Because it's lit right now. Everybody dropping shit at a fast rate, man. So it's crazy. But what do you like, and do you have any upcoming? Do you like performing?
Oh yeah, I love performing.
Yeah, because that's another piece of art too.
That's another. See, when I say that pie chart, like audio, visual, performance game is a whole piece in itself. Like
that to get that crowd hype. Yeah.
That crowd hype, and that was another part of my game that I love doing, and I learned a lot from. Like over the years, I will watch. When you first start out and you're at a certain level, and then you see someone else step on that stage and you see how that person controls the crowd. And I remember early on in my early like 20s, 21, I would see these kind of things and I would just say, okay, next show, I'm gonna do that. Yeah. I'm gonna move around like that. Oh, I see how you're moving around up left to the right. Okay, yeah, I like that move. I'm gonna try this over here. And then I would do that. Oh, I see how he hyping the crowd. I see crowd engagement. I see how you talking to the crowd. Oh, we doing that. Okay, cool. Like all those little things I took and just put it in a box and just shook it up and stuff. So I always love performing and I'm always looking. And the thing is with like the pandemic and everything right now, it slowed everything down. But I was proud to say that prior to that happening, I was booked for a show every single month prior to the world changing.
Was it just in New York or different states as well?
New York.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have you ever performed outside of New York?
No, I haven't.
We need to make this happen. You know
I know.
What I'm saying? We need to go touch the fans because I know
seeing history in real time.
Yeah, I know sometimes you look at your streaming stuff and it's like, my audience isn't just in New York.
Bro,
I need to go touch these audiences, man.
Like, you'll see stuff like Fort Worth, Texas. You be like, damn, they like me out there?
Yeah, then you see in the pie chart like 2% Russia.
Yeah, well, I'd be like, oh, damn. Must have fell in the algorithm.
Somehow, some way.
Yeah.
That's a fact, bro. Damn, man. Again, I appreciate you for having me in your spot, in your area, you know what I mean? Having me here, man. You got anything specific that you wanted to tell the people?
The other man, listen, it's the king of the Middle East, Shahleezy. My album, Shiraz, is streaming everywhere right now. Lucid Dreams is dropping March 9th. And we just coming like a tank, man, like a big Iron Sheik tank. We coming right down your grill for the whole first, second, third, and fourth quarter with one hand, without an arm I spit. You know what I'm saying? You already know.
So what's, besides creating and doing all this time, what you do in your leisure time? You into sports? You into anything like that?
I do be catching sports.
What's your favorite sport?
Believe it or not, it's a tie between football and basketball.
Okay.
And I be feeling bad because, football, like, I love watching football, but it just be like, it'd be a lot of, like, racism and a lot of hidden agendas going on, and it'd be like, damn, I love you so much. This game is so fun to watch, but damn it, you are so hick. Like, you are fucking hick.
And then the NBA is so swagger.
And then the NBA is cool because it's like, I feel like they're so progressive with everything. They be like, oh, work. He said that on the tape. Yo, you're banned for life. You're out of here. like, yeah, the fuck out of here, I don't like you and shit.
You know what 90% of our players are?
Yeah,
You
I like that shit. You know what I mean? But then like
and
the NFL,
then baseball is just like,
baseball, forget about
it's
baseball.
so old tradition.
Yeah.
Like, bro, I that was my first love, but like in my late 20s, mid 20s, it was like, all right, enough of this. Like I can't do this no more. Like, but I always loved basketball and football. You know what I mean? What was your favorite cartoon growing up?
Favorite?
I'll give you
cartoon?
3. I'll give you 3.
You give me 3, thank God.
Cause I know that's a. Even though I wasn't a cartoon kid growing up, I love cartoon movies.
Oh what?
But I didn't like cartoon.
You
series.
like the shows?
Not really.
Damn, bro, you heartless.
I was watching Boy Meets World and shit like that.
Okay. All right, I see. You like the different type of young stuff. Like you like.
I like the human show.
the human ones and stuff like the Disney stuff. Like
Seven Heaven.
yeah, that kind of stuff. I was actually complete. I did like Boy Meets World and Family Matters. I like those like sitcom stuff like that targeted towards the kids. But I didn't like the Disney Channel stuff like the Hannah Montana stuff. All that. I didn't like all that stuff. I didn't like that stuff.
Give me Will Smith.
That's what I wanted. Yeah, but the cartoons, man, alright, I would definitely say, I gotta go SpongeBob, man. Let me start off with SpongeBob. Let me get SpongeBob out the way because I just feel like what they created. If you've seen like how many times they've remixed SpongeBob, recreated scenes, all of that, like he's so tapped in. Like
I hated that shit, but my youngest brother, every day.
Oh yeah, early
SpongeBob.
SpongeBob was
every day.
Whoa, like I'll even watch some of the early stuff still to this day, and I'll just be like, yo, this shit was great. Like I don't know what everybody thinking. All right, the second one, I'm gonna say, Hey Arnold. I'm gonna go with Hey Arnold. I'm a Nickelodeon kid. I was in a cartoon. I was a Nickelodeon. I love all the Nickelodeon stuff. I love that one a lot because Hey Arnold was just like, it's like Kid in the City, you know what I'm saying? Like we kind of like, there was a connection because it's like we kind of like saw it, you know what I mean? Like I see it.
Everybody was colored.
Yeah. That was the conscious cartoon.
It was a colored show, bro. I don't care what nobody tell me. Patty Mayonnaise was white. We know she was white. She was the Caucasian. You know what I'm saying? But then you had Skeeter. He was green.
Well, that's Doug.
Yeah. Then you had
that's Doug. That was gonna be my third.
Arnold is the same.
Hey Arnold's the same. Yeah.
They got the different shades and everything.
Different shades.
I'm just saying characters mixed.
Yeah. But they definitely they was all like, that was the conscious cartoons. Like it was kind of like touch your soul deep. Kind of like like I got the feels and stuff like that.
Sir.
I did like that. Hey Arnold did for sure. That was like, those were like city stories. And then Doug, I like Doug a lot because of like I said, the way they had Skeeter, Patty Mayonnaise, Roger and shit like that. And I like the little references they had. Like I ended up learning on later, like the beats was like the Beatles. Like that was that. Snash Adams was 007 really.
I didn't really, like I said, I wasn't a cartoon kid, but 3 that I did watch, Family Guy.
Oh yeah, but this is adolescence. To me, that's adolescence for me. And Family Guy was if you talking just like cartoon like kiddie stuff,
Recess. That was my shit.
Yeah.
And I was into those like Ninja Turtles, Gargoyles.
I didn't like Gargoyles. I had Gargoyles folder.
X-Men. Shit, you know what I mean? Spider-Man. Batman is my favorite superhero.
I like Batman. I like Batman. I'm a Batman kid myself.
Yeah, that's your favorite superhero?
Yeah, that's my favorite.
That's my favorite superhero right there. And then Flash comes at a close second. Like Barry Allen is that guy.
I like Flash. Flash is cool.
That dude right there. For real. I just like to try to get to learn people's personalities. That's why I ask questions like that. You know what I mean? Because then you don't want to stick strictly to certain topics. It's like, damn, bro.
Hey, bro, I'm a worldly guy. I say this life beyond rap. The things, the ABCs that make me, you hear through the music through my life. So cartoons was a part of my life at one point. Like sports is definitely a part of my life. Wrestling, yes, that was a moment in time in your life. Yeah.
And anybody that I talk to right now that think they too cool for school and be like, no, I wasn't watching wrestling. I'd be like, A liar.
You're lying, bro.
You're
We
lying.
all liked it. We all liked it.
It was somebody that you loved that made you watch Monday Night Raw. For me, it was
Always.
CM Punk. Before that, it was John Cena, and before that, it was The Rock.
There you go.
Mick Foley.
That whole Attitude Era was...
Nah, the Attitude Era was different.
Yeah, the Attitude Era was nuts.
Who was your guys from the Attitude Era?
Rock, Stone Cold, Undertaker. I do want to say, well, he was in WCW, but I gotta say Goldberg. I did like Goldberg.
Yeah.
I did like Goldberg.
Goldberg was that guy. He
That whole undefeated streak that he had going on, I like that shit.
They would boost the number every week by like 50.
Yo, bro,
Last week
when
he
he
was
won the heavyweight title on Nitro, bro, 8-year-old me went fucking nuts. Because I was smart enough to know this much about wrestling, that they would hype up everything, but belts would only transfer on pay-per-view night. So I already had this in my mind, like I knew it. So when I watched it, I came in with the intention that, all right, yo, Goldberg ain't gonna win the heavyweight title tonight.
They're gonna hate on him.
Yeah, they're gonna front on him, and then we're gonna have to find out. And when the ref hit 3 and he jumped up, bro, I went nuts, bro. I was like, I can't believe this just happened. You broke the rules, like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Wrestling at some point had to start changing their ways because the smart fans was catching up. Like, yo, I know what's about to happen. Don't play with me. But then sometimes you gotta put the storyline, like when you get like a Shawn Michaels or a Triple H.
I was gonna say Shawn is my 5th.
Where they take their stories, they make their own stories.
Yeah.
So it could be a different feel to it. You know what I mean? But let me see. 5 for me, wrestling.
Yeah.
The Rock is always number 1 for me, bro. That was just...
He's modern day Hulk to me.
He was somebody that was like... Besides wrestling, in life, he was an inspiration. Just seeing him and the way he took challenges and shit, I used to be like, damn, that's my hero right there. Young me, I used to be like, that's my hero. CM Punk,
Okay.
that's my guy. Stone Cold. Wrestling is hard for me, bro. Charlotte Flair, she in my top 5 all time.
Oh, yeah.
She in my top 5.
All time? Yeah, all time. Iron Sheik is 1 for me. I just gotta throw that.
That's just your favorite.
That's my
my favorite all time is
Yeah.
CM Punk. Yeah, 1 is CM Punk. He's the guy.
And only cause Sheik for me was for like sentimental reasons too. Like to me, he was like the first Iranian entertainer.
Yeah, that's the country you
that
come
my family comes from.
Okay.
So like, to me, like he was the first one to be like I know he's a wrestler, but like as an entertainer, like he became famous in America.
Was it like in any sports field?
I mean, in anything
that you could think of, right?
Yeah, because you're
not watching the Olympics.
Yeah, because that, and it's like, yo, because a lot of us immigrated here in the 70s.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So we didn't tap into entertainment like that.
Yeah.
We didn't really tap into any of that stuff. And then here you got the 80s, you got the hostage crisis going on in Iran. They got all these Americans up in there. And then you got the Iron Sheik, who's a wrestler, waving the Iranian flag and saying down with America and this and the Ayatollah sent me here to beat all the American wrestlers and all that.
And Vince McMahon took that and played with it too.
Yeah, he played with that.
All right, so to close out the episode, what does that mean to you? Where your family comes from? What does that mean to you?
Oh, it's pride, you know what I'm saying? And it shows the journey that they took, you know what I mean, to go from there to come here for a new life. You know, a lot of immigrant families share this similar stories, you know what I'm saying? My father came here when he was 19, you know what I'm saying? He couldn't speak a word of English. He came in on a student visa and he came back a homeowner, and you don't really appreciate those kind of things until you get much older in your life, because you take a lot of stuff for granted. But then you get older and you realize how difficult it is and how many people don't have those kind of opportunities. You know what I'm saying? There's when I think about my family, when I think about where my family comes from is that's pride, that's struggle. You know what I'm saying? So
19. And then you at 19 living your dream.
living my dream, chasing my dream because he went through it. Hope did that, so hopefully you wouldn't have to go through that.
Yo, so for that being said, man, shout out to Dawncore again. For Dawncore is Dricanhippie, and for Shahleezy, thank you so much for coming on to my platform and blessing us. You know what I mean?
Always.
And this will not be the last time that you see this guy on this show. You know what I mean? He could get on whenever he needs to. Whenever you need to promote anything, just hit me up, man. Thank
Always,
you
brother.
again,
You know,
man.
we've been kicking it for a minute. We've been in contact, and I'm glad that we got to do this interview, and I hope it's the most for many more, man.
Yeah, man. So again, for Dawncore, for Shahleezy, it's Dricanhippie, and y'all already know what we're about to do. We about to light that blunt up, man. We about to get up out of here.
Calling all the shots, I'm Shy Popovich. I'm the sperm spitting on their hands, they won't acknowledge it. Started from the bottom, that's as low as how the bottom get. Nowadays, brunch the only time I'm touching bottomless. Another year, another day, my wisdom getting older. Through ups and downs, kept my smile through the roller coaster. The less likely what they saying just to say I told ya. But every bar that I spit, I wonder y'all over.